Apple not 10 minutes ago ended their event covering the new iPads and the new iPhone 13 models. The most exciting for me was their announcement of a brand new iPhone 13 mini. This is my 12 mini, and I think the mini is probably one of the best phones on the market. So what are the new updates and what versions would I recommend for you to get? Let's find out. What's up, everyone? I'm the Everyday Dad, and if I can figure it out, you can figure it out. So the one thing that I wanted out of this event was an iPhone 13 mini with better battery life, and they specifically laid out iPhone 13 mini, better battery life. So that's all that I needed, right? So what I want to do today is let's go through the tech specs, let's go through the ordering options, and let's see, is the iPhone 13 mini worth pre-ordering? Or should you maybe just get one of the other options, or should you wait for another year? So the first thing I want to talk about, they're talking about right here, their most advanced dual camera system ever. We've talked about the previous model and the previous cameras on the iPhone 12 mini. I thought they were really great, and it really turned this into like the best impromptu, like candid family camera. But it looks like they've taken the camera system from the iPhone like 12 Pro Max and put it on the 13 and 13 mini, which I think is crazy. They've also upgraded the durability of the phone, A15 lightning fast processor inside of it, huge leap in battery life, which is I'm so excited about. And look at it, it's just gorgeous. They had the cameras in vertical alignment last year. It looks like they're doing diagonal for this year. Maybe it gives like a better wide angle field of view. I don't know, but it looks incredible. We will have 5 colors this time. It looks pink, blue, midnight, which is pretty nice, starlight, and product red. I'm aiming for starlight or midnight because I think they look real good. You can see the size differences between the 13 and the 13 mini. They're calling it a durable flat edge design, a lot like they had last year. You will still get either a 6.1 inch or a 5.4 inch Super Retina XDR display. It will continue to be water resistant. And like we just said, they did have a pretty substantial upgrade to the cameras. And the way they did that was because they were able to offset it. Probably had something to do with the OIS system or the sensor shift stabilization from that 12 Pro Max camera. And you can see that's the new ultra wide camera. They say it's 54% better in low light. That's because the sensor itself is a little bit bigger. And when it has a sensor shift, that means you can do longer shutter speeds, letting more light into the sensor, giving you better performance in low light. And you can see they talk about their sensor shift optical image stabilization, which looks incredible, and that it's on the iPhone 13 mini. Fam, I am so excited about this. They're talking about their new cinematic mode with the phone, which it's more about changing like the depth of field because we all equate depth of field for high quality. That's going to be your own personal preference. I'll let the cinematographers talk about those. I think it's going to be great with the new cameras. Obviously, like we said earlier in the video, I thought the 12 mini was an amazing family camera because it was unobtrusive. Nobody got weirded out if you were taking candid shots at family events, whereas you get your uncle or aunt that has the gigantic iPad taking pictures. Nobody likes that. So the smaller the camera can be and the lighter the camera can be, the more likely you are to take pictures. So that we were able to take that and then put the awesome cameras from the bigger phones in there. I think that's incredible. They talk an awful lot about the cameras. The front camera will also get a little bit of an upgrade where you can do the cinematic mode, their new photographic styles, Dolby Vision HDR recording, portrait mode, the Smart HDR4, and Apple, I think, has the best Smart HDR that you're going to find in the business. And HDR is just high dynamic range. It's the difference between the shadows and the highlights in the image. The more of that you can capture, that's a higher dynamic range. So like this shot right here is not very HDR. There's just me and there's the background, and there's not much of a difference between the two. So we don't need very many stops of dynamic range here. But when you're outside, like you can see from this picture, you're trying to get a face in proper exposure, but you're also trying to not lose the sky. That's where a Smart HDR comes in, and they do a fantastic job there. It will also start out with 2 times the storage with 128 gigabytes at the base, which, again, that's pretty incredible, especially for the Mini, which is what we're talking about today. The super bright OLED display will go up to 800 nits and up to 1200 nits for HDR content. It's like they took the Pro Max, they shrunk it down, removed one of the cameras, and that's what the 13 Mini is going to be. And if you couldn't tell, I'm so excited about this phone. The big thing that they called out today, and I made a big note and I underlined it, was it's up to 1.5 hours more battery on the 13 mini. And if you remember me talking about the 12 mini, the biggest problem I had with it, the only real problem I had with it, was the battery life. I think being able to extend that by 1.5 hours will go a huge way towards making the mini a much better option. No, I won't have to say, yeah, it gets that full day worth of use. Barely. It gets me a full day, but I'm scared at the end of the day that it's going to die on me. Another hour and a half, I think that smooths out that issue, and hopefully they'll sell more of them and not cancel it, because I love the Mini. The A15 Bionic, we'll have to see. A lot of these new features they want to put in, the new camera features, the new recording features, the new augmented reality, the new AI stuff, that takes a lot of processing power, and I think Apple does a really good job with their chips. So the A15 Bionic is going to do a lot to let them lead the edge in software, because Apple, they don't make flip phones, they don't make gimmicky phones. They make a pretty standard glass slab phone, but where they're really trying to lead the edge, and where they do lead, is in software. And you need some oomph to that to make cutting edge software, and it looks like the A15 Bionic is really going to be what allows them to continue their domination. I mean, you can see it's up to 50% faster than the competition, up to 30% faster graphics, and the only smartphone chip that's faster is in the 13 Pro, and that's because, like we said, it has the 5-core GPU as opposed to the 4-core GPU in the 13. This will continue to have 5G, and when the 12s came out and we were talking 5G, I was not very impressed. I live in a pretty rural area. I did not think 5G was going to do much for me, but having had 5G on my 12 Pro Max and my 12 Mini, I actually get 5G where I live. It's not broadband connection speeds, but it's a legitimate upgrade over what I normally get, so I'm excited to continue having that. I think 5G, I think I said it in the iPad mini video, I forget exactly how I said it, but it's like bandwidth is now the currency of communication, right? Well, 5G is a huge way to getting that. We'll have iOS 15 with all of those new exciting features, powered mostly by that A15 chip. How great. And it does look like it's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, let's go over to the tech specs real quick and see if we missed anything. We talked about the finishes, we talked about the capacity, the size and the weight. It looks like less than 5 ounces for the 13 mini, which is going to be amazing. 5.4-inch display still on the 13 mini, which 476 ppi. I don't get excited about cell phones almost ever, but I am very excited about the 13 mini. Yep, we talked about the A15. We talked about the cameras. Video recording will do 4K 60 if that's your thing. True depth camera we talked about. It will continue to have Face ID. Something that I wish that the 13 mini would have is some kind of touch authentication like we saw in the Z Flip 3 and the Z Fold 3. Face ID is great, but I would like Face ID combined with something else. And another big negative, it'll still have Lightning. I love that all of the iPads are moving towards USB-C. I love that a lot of their tech is moving towards USB-C, but their phones, they ain't moving towards USB-C, which is so frustrating. All right, that's the tech specs. So let's look at the pricing models. All right, we're talking about the 13 mini, which with all of those new advancements in battery, processor, all that, it still starts off at $699, which is awesome. We've got the pink, blue, midnight or Starlight team. Starlight looks real good too. I'm probably going to go Starlight. Yeah, 128 gigabytes at the base, 256 gigabytes for $799 or 512 gigabytes for $999. That's incredible. Incredible that they're upgrading the storage. I think that is going to be great. Oh, okay, well, if you are going to buy it unlocked, it's going to be $729. So that $699 is under the assumption that a carrier is subsidizing part of that. We will not be doing any trade-ins. One-time payment. I don't think we can't buy it yet. But so yeah, the iPhone 13 mini is the phone that I am most excited about. It's besides the iPad mini. I mean, are you seeing the connection here? Are you seeing the train of logic? I like small tech, and the 13 mini with the better battery life, the better processor, the better storage, that's the phone that I'm 100% most excited about. But what about you? Of all the new 13 phones that are coming out, which is the one that you are most excited about? Let me know in the comments below. Obviously, I'll be pre-ordering this as soon as they're available sometime later this week. What are you going to pre-order? Are you going to pre-order anything? And what would you like to see out of content about the 13 mini? Let me know in the comments below, and we will get to making these videos. And if you like this video and you would like to see my 1-year follow-up of the iPhone 12 mini, you can find that by clicking right here. Click, 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 click. Thanks for watching.